Good morning, fellas.
It's a shame nothing happened yesterday.
Oh, no. I mean, listen, when the normal teams like the Red Sox are dumping salary, I mean, seriously, the Red Sox dumping salary.
2
Isn't
weeks
that amazing?
before spring training.
Yeah.
2 days before the NBA trade deadline, we get massive trades.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about what goes on in the NBA a little bit later in the show. Clint Capella was traded from the Houston Rockets for Robert Covington. But the big trade is in Major League Baseball, where the Boston Red Sox, as you heard Mike mention, have sent Mookie Betts, 2018 MVP, and David Price, a former Cy Young Award winner, to the Los Angeles Dodgers for, among other prospects, Alex Verdugo. And the big question is why? I think the answer was laid out last night by Jeff Passan when he was on the SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt.
Mookie Betts wanted to be a free agent. And when Mookie Betts is going to be a free agent, Scott, we're not talking $200 million. We're not talking $300 million. If he has a Mookie Betts type season, we're talking a $400 million contract. And with the money that the Boston Red Sox have on the books already, with Chris Sale owed $150 million over the next 5 years, Nathan Eovaldi owed $50 million over the next 3 years, the money that they spent or misspent put them in a position where they felt like they needed flexibility. But the flexibility comes at the price of losing the best Red Sox since David Ortiz, Roger Clemens, Carl Yastrzemski.
The why is, as you said, Mike, they need some salary relief.
Well, they do, and they were trying to get below the $208 million luxury tax threshold. This is going to help. Betts was supposed to make $27 million this year, but then we know, you just heard Jeff say what he could make next year. Price still had 3 years and $96 million on the books in Boston. There, he'll probably become the number 3 starter over with the Dodgers. So, yeah, the Dodgers or the Red Sox put themselves in kind of a bad position with some of the acquisitions that they had, now trying to get out of it. Unfortunately, it's a team that's one of the better teams in baseball, getting rid of one of the better players or letting go and trading one of the better players in Major League Baseball.
Well, and you're doing it while the Yankees went out and got Garrett Cole this offseason, and you're doing it coming off of just having to fire your manager as a part of the sign-stealing scandal that we've seen rocking Major League Baseball, and you're doing it and strengthening a team like the Dodgers, who we know is about as thirsty for a World Series as any team you're going to find in Major League Baseball based on their recent history, based on their lack of ability to close the deal for the last run of years. And so all of these things in totality, then if you're the Boston area, you're still dealing with the fallout from Tom Brady's ad and the idea that he might leave. Like, for a city that has enjoyed such a wealth of success, this last stretch of time, culminating with this move right now, is really kind of, I'd imagine, rocked Boston a little bit.
It has rocked Boston a little bit. In fact, I want to give you a little bit of taste of callers yesterday.
Boy. Oh, God.
These were Boston area callers calling into WEEI. They're a little bit unhappy. They're a little bit unhappy with the idea that they could, as you point out, lose both Tom Brady and Mookie Betts in the same offseason.
Sell off what's going on with the team and raise the ticket prices and get rid of the only reason why you went to the park was to see Mookie Betts at this time. And don't get me wrong, I think baseball is a game where anybody can play it. Fat, skinny, tall, short, 5'9". The guy was a destroyer on the field, but I just think the marriage was over maybe 2 years ago, and mum was the word from both sides on how it wasn't going to work out. And I wish Mookie Betts the best, and I wish he was with our team, man.
Fat, skinny, tall, short, baseball welcomes everyone.
I get what he's saying about all different sizes that can play well, but I've always said that I think the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball. I think it is the hardest thing to do in sports. And Mookie, boy, what he brought on the offensive side and the defensive side. I mean, you heard it again. He would be that second player. I mean, $400 million, that's Mike Trout. I mean, that's ridiculous. And, oh, by the way, to a team in Los Angeles that is just layering talent upon talent with the Dodgers trying desperately to get to the World Series again and actually win it this time, which they haven't done since '88.
If the Dodgers now join the Yankees as the largest preseason pennant favorites over the last 15 seasons, they are plus 150, as are the Yankees for the 2020 pennants. And by the way, the highest over-unders in the last 30 years, again, the Yankees and Dodgers next year are almost locks to be in the postseason and playing for a pennant. These two teams essentially are super teams.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.